Welcome back. Today we're starting off with another 2020 review. This has been the first one since last week. We're going to need to make a public announcement about this. The series is not ending. No, it's not. But there is going to be more of a constant upload with this. There's likely going to be 2 of these a week. Because, we're heading into October, we're heading into September, and we're nearing the halfway mark already of September, and we still don't have. We are just finishing up the 7 teams that missed the playoffs. There is all the teams that lost in the qualifying rounds. There's all the teams that lost in the first and second rounds. That we're really gonna have to start picking up speed with this. So, starting next week, we're gonna have 2 videos of 2020 review in a week. They will likely be the Rangers and some West team. If I can think of a West team that's another team that's next. So Rangers is definitely confirmed for next week. There's another team that is also. So let's get into the final team that missed the playoffs, alphabetical orderly, in the 2020 review, and that is the San Jose Sharks. Now you come up with an Ottawa team. We just reviewed Ottawa a week ago, and you think that they have a bright future. San Jose, it's a lot different. So this season, 70 games played, 29 goals, 36 assists for 5 and 5 overtime. 29 wins, 36 losses, and 5 overtime/shootouts. I'm an idiot. So, their goal score was 182, which is actually fairly high for 29th in the NHL, and 226 goals against average, which makes it 29th in the league. Their leaders were Timo Meier with 22 goals, 27 assists for 44 points. By far, probably one of the best, probably top 3 best players on this team. And he has a bright future heading into the next season. If he can keep it, then that's really good for San Jose. Evander Kane's next with 26 goals, 21 assists for 47 points. And that's also pretty good also. A lot of players that I did not expect to be in the top 3 were actually in the top 3. And then Brent Burns was number 3 with 12 goals, 33 assists for 45 points. Honestly, if your players aren't scoring even 50 points, and yes, Timo Meier was only 1 point from 50, but that still makes a difference. This San Jose team, I don't know. And, their players to be hyped up about is really the players on the team currently. Timo Meier, Evander Kane. I guess you could throw Aaron Dell in there, and I guess Logan Couture. But I don't know. And Couture, he seemed invisible throughout this season. I have rarely heard his name. They kind of disappoint me low key. You come off of a right here. There's the pennant. They're my 4th favorite team. Before I started YouTube, and heck, before this season, they were my 3rd favorite team. Now Tampa has regained that spot. So now it wasn't because they're bad. It wasn't because they were bad. That wasn't why. It was just I didn't see effort in this team at all. You come up with a 2019 Western Conference loss. You went into the Western Conference Finals. You only lost in 6 games to the defending Cup champions, which kind of takes a little bit of slack off you. You think to yourself, you're like, no, this is a step higher than 2018 where they lost in the second round to Vegas. They beat Vegas this year, had probably their best game ever that I've ever watched. You go through all this, you look, and this is much better. 2019 was a much better season than 2018, and you think to yourself, you're like, okay, I think we're going to be able to do this. Pavelski leaves. I think, that's really what triggered, what triggered this. Towards the beginning of the regular season, the Sharks signed Patty Marleau and Joe Thornton to 1-year deals. Marleau's in Pittsburgh now, and Thornton's likely either going to retire or he's not going to be playing for a team after this season. I don't see Thornton getting re-signed. If Thornton gets re-signed, it's going to be for a 3rd, 4th liner. He's done playing 2nd and 3rd line, all those areas. So, Thornton and Marleau. I guess Marleau played decent, but they really disappointed me this season. Goaltending. Martin Jones, he needs to go. He's wasting a lot of cap space. He's wasting $5 million in cap space. and that is way too much. That is way too much for a 17, 21, and 2 goaltender, and it's just unacceptable. I can't express that enough. I don't know how or why. It's stupid, and he doesn't expire until 2024-25. So San Jose is either gonna have to make a big move here, or Seattle's gonna take him at the expansion draft, and that's the thing for Burns too. Brent Burns is in that same position that Jones is in. Aaron Dell, you could throw him in there. You could. I think they protect. I think when Seattle comes in, whether they made any free agency acquisitions or not, I think that Aaron Dell stays. I think that Aaron Dell, he's got a good future. He was 12, 15, and 3, still a losing record, but he was still good. He was much better than Martin Jones. And especially the games that I watched with San Jose, he was much better than Martin Jones. So I think that Aaron Dell stays, but either that Jones needs to go to the expansion draft or he just needs to get traded. I don't I he, they need to get rid of him somehow. And who goes in that spot with Dell? That's something we're gonna have to figure out. Um, I want to say for all these teams, I said that's it for the positives, but it really isn't. The players to be hyped up about, aka like really good prospects. Ottawa had tons. They had Hogberg, they had Gustafsson, which I don't even think I mentioned. They had Norris, they had their 2 draft picks. They have all that, which is one of them is San Jose, which we'll get into that in a second. San Jose, it's really the players on the team. I can't think of any prospects for San Jose in the past like 3-4 years that San Jose has drafted and be really hyped up for that isn't playing on the team right now. They're really gonna have to make they're really gonna have to make some deals. I don't see the Sharks. They're heading into a low point in their existence. I think that the next at least 2 years are gonna be bad for them, and I think they're heading. I think if they're not already there, they're heading in the direction of rebuild mode. So you know, I put a question mark here the players to be hyped about because I don't know. It's real. I said it at the beginning. It's really Timo Meyer. It's really Evander Kane. It's really their top 3 goal scorers. I guess Logan Couture and Aaron Dell. There's really no one else. To be honest with you, are they better next year? It's pretty obvious. No, I said it. I said that no. There's no way in heck. I don't see them being better. They might be a little bit better. If anything, they're likely going to be worse. I'm not gonna lie. They have $14.1 million in cap space. I guess that's the only positive, but they're likely going to use that in 2020, 2021 to sign Aaron Dell. If they don't sign Aaron Dell, I'm gonna be cheesed. But draft picks, second round pick. That's the latest pick they have. They're idiots. They traded their first round pick to Tampa. Wait, no, did they? No, Tampa. Wait, no, they do have a first round pick, or do they? I think it's. I think. Yeah, they have the 31st overall pick, I think, or around there. They have a late first round pick. They got Tampa's first round pick. That's not gonna be a player that carries this team. More than likely, it's not gonna be a player that carries this team. That's basically it. And we're gonna talk about the Erik Karlsson trade here for a bit. You can make arguments. We're likely gonna make a video about this after the draft happens, and we get into a few seasons after San Jose. I mean, and probably by the end of 2021, we're gonna make a video about if the Sharks actually won that trade. At the beginning, it was looking like, the Sharks are gonna win this trade. The Sharks are gonna be so dominant with Erik Karlsson. And yes, they traded away one of their best prospects in James Norris or Josh Norris. So I don't know why I said James Norris. That was a owner for Detroit back in like the 40s. I don't know why that's in my head. Yeah, they traded away Josh Norris. Someone pointed out in the 2020 review too. I said James Norris. I'm like, what an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm like, okay. So, yes, they gave up their best. They gave up probably their best prospect, Josh Norris, which if he was still on the team right now, he would probably be the only player that would be there right now if the Sharks were in the state that they were if they didn't make that trade. They traded for Hoffman too, but they didn't get much back in that either. And they traded him like a day late. They traded him like the same day too. So anyways, that's not part of the point. Did they win that trade? No, they didn't win the trade. Because you look at this. They traded their first round pick and a really good prospect who is going to turn into something. Josh Norris, as I said his name before, he's going to turn into something really good, and he's a big part of the Ottawa in the next couple of years. And they trade away their first round pick, which that was kind of sucked. Because that ended up being into the third overall pick, where they can select either Quinton Byfield or Tim Stutzel or anyone else besides Lafreniere. To be honest with you, and what they got back in return was not enough. I can't really think of anybody. I can't really think of anything but Erik Karlsson. Erik Karlsson, he was undeniably a good player before he went to San Jose. But even in that last season with Ottawa, he was really dealing with injuries. And you look at that trade, he was dealing with injuries at our core. And at the time, Ottawa was trading away all their players. I think it was the right call by that. Trading away all their players was the right call. Karlsson got just slammed with injuries in last season and this season. And I think that it's just really, it was really just a lost trade. Honestly. I think that it was probably the worst move I've ever seen by San Jose in their history. So yeah, they are not going to be better next year. Expect a not good season by San Jose next year. I can just say that right now. You can tell me whatever you want. You can say, oh no, maybe they'll success this year. No, they're not successing. I'm sorry. They don't have the core. They have Logan Couture, Timo Meier, and Evander Kane. That's pretty much it. Vlasic has been bad. Karlsson's been injured. Burns is decent. Burns is probably your best defenseman, but he's not even as good as he used to be. So your defensive core you really got to work on too. So, this team has a lot of weak spots, a lot. So, they really got to improve on this in this offseason and especially over the next few years. So yeah, that's the 2020 review and basically the future. Again, we already made a future of the San Jose Sharks video about 3-4 months ago. It's pretty much pointless now. So is the Ottawa one. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, do make sure to leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 400 subscribers by the end of the year. When the Killorn suspension comes out, there will definitely be a bonus video talking about the suspension. I'll show the clip on the screen as well. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for the constant support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.